Mountains in January 1959. The team, led by Igor Dyatlov, was made up of recent Ural Polytechnic Institute graduates and college students with winter trekking expertise. Their objective was to arrive at Otorten Mountain, a rocky and isolated summit in the Sverdlovsk Oblast of the Soviet Union. But the trip became a tragedy that has plagued researchers, investigators, and conspiracy theorists for decades. The hikers were discovered dead under mysterious circumstances, and their deaths were formally ascribed to an unknown compelling force. However, this ambiguous conclusion has simply made the puzzle more complex. Forensic evidence, eyewitness reports, and journal entries present a picture that defies natural explanation. In esoteric and occult circles, a more darker potential has surfaced despite the numerous ideas that have been put forth, such as avalanche, hypothermia, or covert military tests. Did the Dyatlov gang come upon something ancient, an inexplicable power that ended their journey in a terrible way? On January 27, 1959, the hikers set off on their adventure. Although their objective was lofty, they were prepared and self-assured. The weather shifted against them as they went farther into the mountains. Blizzards made it nearly impossible to see, and frigid temperatures made progress difficult and slow. The group camped on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, which means Dead Mountain in the native Mansi language, on February 1st. This is where the tragedy happened. Weeks later, their bones were discovered by a search party, and the scene was unimaginable. Their remains, many of them barefoot and hardly dressed, were strewn across the snow after their tent was torn apart from the inside. While some showed evidence of exposure, others had experienced severe inside damage, without any external harm. Radiation traces found on some of their garments added to the mystery and made police fear a darker motive. The area surrounding Kholat Syakhl has long been a source of fear and mystery. Stories of cursed places and evil spirits that reside in the bleak wilderness are told by the indigenous Mansi people. They stay away from there because they think it's a place of death, where people shouldn't be there. Esoteric scholars have discovered remarkable similarities between the myth of the Plateau of Leng, which is mentioned in a number of esoteric writings, including the Book of Abon and the Necronomicon, and the Mansi stories of Kholat Syakhl. The Plateau of Leng is more than just a place. It is a meeting point of dimensions, a place where reality, time, and space all converge. These books claim that the plateau is only reachable through specific threshold points dispersed around our planet because it exists concurrently in several planes of reality. The barrier between dimensions is thought to thin at these locations, which are thought to have odd geography and unexplained events. It has been suggested that these portals might grant access to other unimaginable realms associated with the old ones, in addition to Leng. According to certain esoteric scholars, Kholat Syakhl may be one of these thresholds. The area's historical documents include Mansi shamans cautioning tourists to stay away from particular locations because they were cursed or sacred. Prehistoric Tibetan writings provide similar cautions about avoiding unexplored Himalayan areas that are thought to border Lengdont eerie confirmation is added by contemporary reports, which include hikers reporting unusual lights, unexplained disorientation, or even strange atmospheric anomalies in far-flung mountain ranges across the world. Such locations might provide access to the Plateau of Leng, which begs the horrifying concerns of what might be on the other side of our reality, and the consequences of doing so. A chilling look into the climbers' last, agonizing days may be found in their journals and photos. They describe the grandeur of the untamed landscapes and the promise of adventure in their early entries, which were brimming with wonder and excitement. However, as they approached Kholat Syakhl, the atmosphere gradually changed to one of growing fear. Once full of energy, one entry now described sleepless evenings filled with odd, discordant sounds, low, guttural sounds that seemed to echo from the Earth's very core. Long after they paused to rest, the gang was plagued by the unsettling feeling that they were being watched. They were increasingly uneasy, but they never saw any other people or animals in the barren countryside. They discovered a strange location as a result of their explorations. An old stone formation that was partially covered in snow and had markings that appeared to be much older than the nearby mountains. Later, photographs taken in the vicinity were discovered. They were so distorted that they were nearly unidentifiable, but one in particular sticks out. A vague, eerie figure towering in the distance. It was a humanoid figure, yet there was something hideous and unnatural about it, as if it were not quite human. Terrifying hallucinations and visions of enormous creatures that towered over them, with eyes and tentacles that defied the laws of nature, characterized the hikers' last days. Their nightmares were from cities that appeared to hover in space and extend infinitely into non-Euclidean geometry. They were not from this earth. Their thoughts appeared to disintegrate over the course of the days, leaving a trail of mysterious inscriptions that alluded to some evil and old force that they were unable to understand or avoid. The only indication of what they might have seen is their final, hazy, and apparently hurried photograph. A shadowy, black figure standing just out of reach, watching them with invisible eyes. Others murmur of it as evidence of something much deeper, something connected to the old gods, resurfacing in the icy wastes, while others dismiss it as a trick of the light or a mistake by the hikers. A little carved stone tablet that was completely out of place in the cultural and geological background of the area was one of the artifacts found at the Dyatlov Pass site. Its surface was engraved with complex, looping symbols that were difficult to categorize linguistically, and it was about the size of a human hand. Upon further analysis, some specialists discovered remarkable resemblances to drawings discovered in ancient Mesopotamian ruins, patterns and glyphs associated with the eerie worship of cosmic beings, such as Yog-Sothoth and Cthulhu. The material and workmanship of the tablet were equally mysterious. The stone appeared to exude an unearthly coldness, as though it were infused with an unfathomable presence. Although officially declared undecipherable, there were speculations that snippets of translation alluded to warnings or invocations of the old ones, mentioning portals of awakening and boundless depths of madness. There is still uncertainty and fear around what happened to individuals who dared to examine the tablet. One of the most terrifying mysteries of the contemporary period is still the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Was it a terrible mishap, a secret military mission, or something much darker? The hikers' deaths serve as a sobering reminder of humanity's insignificance in the face of cosmic powers for those who believe in the old ones and their impact. With their secrets protected by the roaring winds and the never-ending snow, the desolate slopes of Kholat Syakhl stand as a silent witness to the events of that tragic night. There is little doubt that some riddles are best kept unsolved, regardless of whether the truth is found in the occult or in science.